Welcome to the series of sessions on Advanced Concrete Technology. We were discussing Module 1 Aggregates. Today we will be discussing Lecture 2 Sampling and Testing. In the first session we have discussed about review of types of aggregates, that is the classification of aggregates, and today we will be discussing sampling and testing. Sampling and testing can be done based on the properties. First of all, let us see the property shape of the aggregate. Shape of the aggregate can be rounded, irregular, angular, flaky, elongated, flaky and elongated. The shape of the aggregate influences the workability of concrete. Workability is the ease with which fresh concrete can be mixed, placed, consolidated and finished. So we should take care about the shape of the aggregate. First of all, let us consider round shaped aggregates. As shown in the picture, they are round in shape and have a percentage of voids of around 32 to 33%. And it has an inherent property of improving the workability. As a result, we can reduce the water cement ratio. Generally, we increase the water cement ratio in order to get a better workability. Then the problem is that when we increase the water cement ratio, the strength of the concrete may change. So we prefer to keep the water cement ratio to a minimum value. When the aggregate used itself is having an inherent property of improving the workability, we need not increase the water cement ratio in order to improve the workability. So when we are using rounded aggregates, we can definitely keep the water cement ratio to a minimum value. Then rounded aggregates are not preferred for high strength concrete because of its poor interlocking behavior and weak bond strength. Since the surface is smooth and curved, it is not preferred for high strength concrete. Now let us consider irregular or partly rounded aggregates. Irregular aggregates are having a percentage voids of 35 to 37%, which is slightly higher than that of rounded aggregates. The disadvantage of irregular aggregates are that they are having lesser workability compared to the rounded aggregates, but their bond strength is slightly higher than that of rounded aggregates. But still, they are not preferred for high strength concrete. Considering the angular aggregates, we can see that they have well-defined edges and they are obtained by crushing of rocks. The percentage of voids in angular aggregates are slightly higher than the previous cases. It is around 38 to 45%. And it is observed that the compressive strength of concrete mix made with angular aggregates is around 10 to 20% more than that of the same specimen made with rounded aggregates. It is mainly due to the aggregate mortar bond. So these are generally preferred for high strength concreting. Flaky aggregates, as you can see in the picture, are having very small thickness compared to the width and length of the aggregates. The least dimension of the aggregate is less than 60% of the mean dimension. Such aggregates are generally not preferred for concreting. In elongated aggregates, the length of the aggregate is larger than the other two dimensions and the length of the aggregate is considered to be greater than 180% of its mean dimension. This type of aggregates are also not preferred in concreting. Flaky and elongated characteristics of aggregate can occur together also. That is, the length of the aggregate is much larger than the other dimension as well as it is having a very small thickness. The above three type of aggregates, that is flaky, elongated, then flaky and elongated type of aggregates are not suitable for concrete mixing. They are generally obtained from poorly crushed rocks. Why they are not preferred for concrete mixing? Once the concrete is set and when the structure is loaded, there is a possibility that on loading these flaky and elongated aggregates breaks and which may in turn lead to the cracks in concrete. So it is always better to avoid flaky and elongated type of aggregates. Shape tests on coarse aggregate are conducted to find elongation index and flakiness index. The particle shape of aggregate is determined by the percentage of flaky and elongated particles in it. They are generally not preferred in the areas where there is a possibility of heavy loads, such as foundation columns, etc. If we are using such aggregates, there is a possibility that they break down and create cracks in the concrete. Elongation index is calculated using the apparatus shown in the picture. We will be taking a sample of coarse aggregate and will be passing each of the aggregate through the space in between the rods shown in the picture. We calculate the mean dimension and find 1.8 times the mean dimension. Then the percentage by weight of the particles whose greatest dimension is greater than the 1.8 times the mean dimension is considered to be the elongation index. That is, as the elongation index increases, it is not suitable for concreting. The test is not applicable for aggregates of size smaller than 6.3 mm. Flakiness index is calculated using the apparatus shown in the picture. Here we take a sample of coarse aggregate, then pass each of the aggregate through one of the holes shown in the picture suitably. Then we find the mean dimension and calculate 0.6 times the mean dimension. And flakiness index of the aggregate is the percentage by weight of particles whose least dimension is less than 0.6 times the mean dimension. Okay, then as in the case of elongation index, for flakiness index also, when the aggregate size is less than 6.3 mm, these two tests are not preferred. Let us move on to the summary of today's session. We were discussing sampling and testing done based on properties. We have 12 different properties. In this session, we were discussing about the property called shape. The shape is tested using two different tests where we have analyzed elongation index and flakiness index. Based on the magnitudes of elongation index and flakiness index, we can decide whether a particular sample of aggregates can be used for concreting or not. That's all for today. Thank you.